Norway 1, France 4, and my 3 words are, "What a shame." Because if this game was played 2 weeks ago, I think it would've been really fun to watch, and it felt like it felt like when there's, like, international tours during the summertime and, like, yeah, you go to, like, see, like, an international friendly, that's what it
Yeah.
felt like. It felt like they were playing at half pace, which is kind of a bummer. France, started a real 11, but Norway, obviously, like, they sat 10 out of their 11 starters, and, yeah, what a shame.
What a
What a
shame.
bummer. It would've been really nice to see this game be played for real, but unfortunately, I do get why Norway did what they
Do
did.
you agree with Norway's decision to bench their starters, or do you think it's problematic?
So, I agree. I agree with their decision, but watching the game so it's not exactly the same as the US situation because the US had already won their group and, they had guys with yellow card trouble and all those things, like, Norway had the chance to win their group, and I do think that changes it a little bit. Now, like,
Right.
their seeding wouldn't have been wildly different if they had won that group, like, they would still have probably an equally difficult path to the finals, but, I I think the way they did it was just it felt it felt
It felt wrong.
wrong for some reason, and
Yeah.
I think it's because, like, the US game truly meant nothing because Tunisia was eliminated and
Turkey was eliminated.
Turkey was eliminated and the US had won the group, so there's, like, a very, like, valid, "This doesn't matter at all," whereas, I don't know, the Norway game, them playing their scrubs is I and they also didn't, like, play with that much conviction, all of it, like,
Yeah, the whole thing start to finish was blah. At
it
least
sucked.
the other thing about the US game and the Turkey game was there was an intensity to that game, which it didn't feel like an international friendly. It didn't
Yeah,
feel like a walkthrough. Didn't feel
yeah,
like a practice scrimmage. It felt real,
it felt real.
and we still put in our starters at the end of the game. We put in Dest, we put in Pulisic, we put in, Tillman. We went for it at the end. We were trying to win, and to me, mailing it in from Norway is unacceptable. And I have a look, if we think about the NBA gets into all sorts of trouble for load management. They bench their stars, and people make the argument that there's people who pay to bring a kid to a game to watch LeBron play, and he sits, and it's kind of a moral crime. The NBA try to take steps to fix it. This load management problem, whatever the NBA problem is, this load management problem in the World Cup is 10x that because
Yeah,
these tickets are thousands of dollars. People travel thousands of miles. They pay thousands of dollars to watch a
and
1 in 4 year
100%.
opportunity to watch your team play. And by the way,
Yeah,
I don't think Norway has been in the World Cup for what is it, 20 years?
long
So
time.
there are some Norway fans. There are Norway families out there who have waited their whole lives to watch Norway play in a World Cup. They they save up this money, they buy these incredibly expensive tickets, they fly out to the game. And then for the Norway team to just be like, "You know what? We don't give a crap. We're just not even gonna try to win this game." To me, that's just ridiculous. Like, I don't wanna see Asgard and Thor play. I wanna see Haaland play. I wanna see
Mhm.
Odegaard play. I wanna see
Yeah,
Mbappé versus Haaland in a
yeah,
golden boot. Feel like this was a marquee matchup. And I texted you this earlier. It should be illegal for a coach to ruin a 1 in 4 year marquee matchup. That should be illegal. That should break some sort of like UN treaty. Like, it's ridiculous. And some of this is on FIFA because I know why they set up the schedule like this. Whatever knucklehead on the FIFA side, they looked at the schedule and they're like, what would be awesome? Let's have Norway and France play last in like a showdown. It'll get tons of ratings. It'll be a winner take all for the group. And the FIFA guy goes, that's a great idea. And then they look at the next group. They're like, it'd be awesome? USA versus Turkey.
yeah.
Another final game showdown. The problem with that is you've now opened yourself to the possibility that the game means nothing. And so it would be much better to just move these big games that you know are premier matchups that everyone's going to be tuning in for. Just move it to the first or second game so that you guarantee that people watch it and it matters, because today was unpardonable. It was unpardonable, Super. And I understand the art of resting players. And I think Pochettino, and we'll get into the US situation in a second, the Pochettino situation, if you're going to rest players, at least do it that way. You still throw in some stars, you make the game feel like it's important, there's an intensity to it. That's all fine. But for Haaland to come out a couple days before and say, we don't care if we lose this game, and then they just throw out all the scrubs, they don't even put in their starter, all of that, just it bothers me.
And that's
it's
really
a crime against sports.
That's really important context, because like strategy wise, I fully back what Norway did and I completely support it. But the way they approached the game was very disrespectful to the fans, quite frankly. Because like if I was a fan and I'm looking at, okay, what group stage games I want to go to, Norway France is up there. That is a game worth attending on paper.
Well, 100%. That's probably a top 5 group stage game. If we were to go back to the beginning of the World Cup and say, hey, Super, which games are you going to be on your couch, remote in hand, watching? Norway France would have been on my list.
Yeah, I think it'd be up there. So I think, but the Haaland clip is like very important context, because he said, yeah, we're probably gonna lose, and then they throw out that performance, which like, look, it's okay if you want to rest your guys and play people, but those guys got to step on the field and actually try to win the game. And it just, they walked through it. They just went through the motions. And yeah, what a shame.
To me though, Super, I get resting your players if you've already won the group. Like, to me, what Poch did is like the bare minimum of what's acceptable. Like, okay, in that situation, what you did is like the bare minimum that I'll accept, which is you've already locked away the group. You got guys on yellows. You rest the guys with yellows. You play a couple you play one of your key guys, and then you play Pulisic at the end of the game. That's the bare minimum. But to not have the group locked up and to not even give any of your guys a run and make no effort to win the game is like, it's very problematic. To me, it's unpardonable. It really is. And just knowing, like, Super, these are thousands of dollars worth of, like a nosebleed of that game is $2,000.
I know, but that's the thing, is it's like, it's tough because it doesn't matter to those guys like how much people.
But it should, because you're like, this is Super. Like, putting aside the fan point, if you're a player, these opportunities don't roll around every day. How many times do you get a chance to play in a World Cup and then like play in a World Cup match, win your group, play against France? Like, that doesn't happen.
I've never.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my call.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just, it was badly handled. It was very badly handled, and I think FIFA needs to, in future World Cups, you need to schedule the marquee matchups at least in game 2, because what happened today is unacceptable. It's just to me, it's unacceptable. So
it's tough. I hope that would solve the problem, but then you might get like France playing Iraq on the final day, and they're probably going to sit their starters for that game.
That's fine. Like, but that's, if you're going to rest if I'm going to lose a game, I'd rather lose France versus Iraq than lose France versus Norway.
Yeah.
So it's like, totally. If the third game's going to be a wash, let's just eliminate, the worst game.